Son of a gun, look what made it back into the garage. The old twin engine. So for those that don't know, we built this for the Discovery Channel because they was coming down to film an episode. We didn't know what we was doing. It turned out halfway decent other than the front end. If you remember, we fixed the front end by extending the A-arms 3 inches and getting our tie rod angle right. So now there shouldn't be any bumps here or nothing. The front end still could have been better, but today the problem that we've been having, and why you haven't seen this on the channel, is Go Power Sports used to sell 1/8 inch thick engine plates, as you can see there, and that's perfectly fine for a 212, but when you're running a 440 or even a 301, it'll start flexing and we're getting our chain skipping teeth. So Go Power Sports has made some 1/4 inch thick engine plates now, so any big block engine plate you get is now 1/4 inch thick. Look at those fat daddies. So we're going to pull these engines off. Daniel's going to cut the plates out and we're going to weld the new ones in, and we're going to put spacers under, risers under the engine that'll rise it up 2 inches because we want more chain wrap around that sprocket. We're only hitting like 3 teeth or so, and if we could get it up higher, it would wrap more around that sprocket and not ever cause any problems there. So throw you on the tripod, we'll pull these engines off. We're going to put new fuel lines, fuel filters, and then I can finally test drive this thing without it skipping chains. And if everything's right, we may have to tweak the front end a little bit more. We know so much more about front ends now. You know, we can fix about anything on them. But I'll have to wire it, and then it's going to its new home. So let's get this thing started. Open the garage door. Alright, so you can see this is the thickness of the old Go Power Sports engine plates, and there's the new ones. So we're definitely not going to get any flex out of this new one. This one was flexing like crazy. Like I said, this is good for 212s and whatnot. This is good for fat daddy power. Alright, so we didn't film cutting off the shock tabs and moving them forward. You can see The old shock tabs are laying right there. That was a son of a gun because they had a lot of weld on them. We basically moved the shock about 6 inches or so forward, and now it's super comfortable. Before it was almost non-existent. These are the Go Power Sports 300cc shocks. They come on the independent suspension 300cc go-karts. They're pretty beefy, and they feel really good now that we moved them up closer to the pivot point. We're going to get these engines slapped on and go take it for a test ride, make sure everything's good and we don't skip any chains. Alright, you can see when Braxton's setting it, hop up and down, Braxton. Like, see, the suspension is working now. Before it was completely solid. So, I'm gonna try to start. when we was riding around at first, I was like, man, this thing, number one, it don't sound
yeah.
like it used to. And number two, it don't have the power it used to. As soon as we kicked in that other engine though, woo, doggy. Woo, doggies, fella. I rode around the yard like 3 full laps and didn't realize that only one engine was running. I started both engines in my garage, and one of them, the one I first started, we used to drive the twin engine in the garage. The other one hadn't been started in like 4 months. So after we started that second time and just revved it up some, probably got some gunk out of the car. But twin engine's got a ton of power, that's for sure. One engine is boring, but both of them, I think, has a ton of power, and I bet it will probably do around 50 mile an hour on the road. The problem with it is that front end. Period. We said in the last video we're going to cut the whole entire front end off and completely rebuild everything. We stole, for people that hadn't watched the channel, we stole that whole front end off a Yerf Dog Spider box that we had. It was an upgraded front end. We didn't know what we was doing. Number one, we didn't measure. We had to build this whole entire go-kart in 5 days, start to finish. Of course we had problems. We was rushed, never had done a AA arm front suspension. So what we're going to do is pull it back in the garage, since we have sold it to a good friend of the channel. We're going to pull it in the garage and we're going to build a full AA arm front suspension for it on the weld table behind me. So everything is fixed and it's finally ready to go, because when we'd hit the brakes on the road, the whole knuckle would twist because of those weak ball joints. So we're going to finally fix it with all Heim joints, make the thing awesome. Now the back half's good. Now we got to do the front half and wire it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the video's description where you can find all these parts on GoPowersports.com. These are two 440cc Duro Max engines, and we did Go Power Sports 40 series on them, and also their performance kit with some top plates. So make sure to check out those links. Also, GeneratorFactoryOutlet.com is linked below, and sometimes we have a discount code. So always come back to the videos where we use Duro Max engines and check out for if there's a discount code, because you can save a ton of money like that. But check out those 440 Duro Maxes. All the 420 Predator stuff works on them, and they make really good power. Got a way bigger bore. It's just a way better engine for less money. So thank you guys for watching. We love you, and God bless.